The Minoan civilization of ancient Crete, which some have suggested could have accounted for the myth of Atlantis, encouraged marriage between first cousins. That is one of the key findings of an exciting new archaeogenetic study of the culture of the Aegean Bronze Age. An international team of researchers from the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology in Leipzig, Germany, discovered new insights into Bronze Age marriage customs and family structures in the region. Analyses of ancient genomes revealed that the choice of marriage partners was determined by kinship, and partnerships between close relatives was encouraged. Although this did not go as far down the incestuous route as ancient Egyptian pharaohs, who would sometimes take sister wives in a bid to preserve the purity of their bloodlines. This practice in Egypt is thought to have given rise to the crippling genetic disabilities suffered by Tutankhamun, for instance. Monarchical dynasties continued the practice of marrying close relatives into more modern times too, with the famously disastrous Habsburgs of Austria suffering complications as a result of inbreeding. And it wasn't just the Austrians, even the British royal family has had its moments, with the late Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip being third cousins sharing the same great-great-grandmother in Queen Victoria. But back to the study. The researchers looked at more than 100 genomes of Bronze Age people from the Aegean. Philip Stockhammer, one of the study's lead authors, said, "Without the great cooperation with our partners in Greece and worldwide, this would not have been possible." What he was referring to was the creation of the first biological family tree of a Mycenaean family, as well as the study's other findings. Thanks to recent methodological advances in the production and evaluation of ancient genetic data sets, it has now been possible to produce extensive data even in regions with problematic DNA preservation due to climate conditions, such as Greece. For a Mycenaean hamlet of the 16th century BC, it has even been possible to reconstruct the kinship of the house's inhabitants, the first family tree that has so far been genetically reconstructed for the entire ancient Mediterranean region. Apparently, some of the sons still lived in their parents' hamlet in adulthood. At least their children were buried in a tomb under the courtyard of the estate. One of the wives who married into the house brought her sister into the family, as her child was also buried in the same grave, the research revealed. But it is the marriage customs of Minoan Crete, as well as the Greek mainland, that are of most interest in the new study. And it seems that these practices had a hard-headed and pragmatic purpose, namely the maintenance of property ownership within the family. On Crete and the other Greek islands, as well as on the mainland, it was very common to marry a first cousin 4,000 years ago. Irene Scortaniotti, the study's lead author, said, "More than 1,000 ancient genomes from different regions of the world have now been published, but it seems that such a strict system of kin marriage did not exist anywhere else in the ancient world. This came as a complete surprise to all of us and raises many questions." Philip Stockhammer added, "Maybe this was a way to prevent the inherited farmland from being divided up more and more. In any case, it guaranteed a certain continuity of the family in one place, which is an important prerequisite for the cultivation of olives and grapes, for example." Irene Scortaniotti concluded, "What is certain is that the analysis of ancient genomes will continue to provide us with fantastic new insights into ancient family structures in the future." Part of the paper's conclusion read, "Biological relatedness and its representation in prehistoric collective burials has been poorly understood in the Aegean. Here we present the first evidence for representation of biologically kin groups from a collective intramural infant grave dating to the late Bronze Age, a type of burial which existed since the Neolithic Aegean but became more common since the Middle Bronze Age. Located within the Mycenaean late Bronze Age settlement of Migdalia, a small cyst grave was the primary inhumation of at least 8 perinatal infants and one of the 6 child burials under the houses of the settlement. By estimating the degree of relatedness among 7 of these infants and assigning the uniparental haplogroups, the relationship of the infants could be resolved in a single extended family tree, whereby the 6 infants were the children and grandchildren of one couple. The 7th individual was not a direct offspring of this family, but related in the 3rd degree through the maternal line, plausibly as first cousins. It added, offspring of close kin unions were identified from the Neolithic through the late Bronze Age, but due to the uneven sampling, no conclusions can be drawn regarding temporal trends. Consanguinity was also present in higher frequency in the smaller islands of Salamis, Lazaridis, Koukounaris and Koufonisia, 50%, but overall it seemed common throughout the Aegean. The observed high frequency of endogamy diachronically points to a rather common social practice in the prehistoric Aegean. The study also notes that the prevalence of the practice indicates a close interconnectedness throughout the Aegean as far back as the Neolithic, if not earlier. That's it for this video. Don't forget to like, share, and most importantly subscribe. And you can also support the channel on Subscribestar via the link in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.